After you made this agreement, after you advanced $4,000 and you purchased 1,200 vape products, the defendant came to possession of those vape products. Is that correct?
Yes. So what had happened is
I want to hear from the defendant.
Okay.
Yeah, they were addressed to me in my name, but the address on the package was to Wes's house. And so I intercepted them from UPS with my ID because it was addressed to me.
Right.
That way they didn't go to him because I had already cut him out of the business at that point.
You had cut the witness out of it.
Yeah. Mm.
But in any event, did there come a point in time when you guaranteed to the plaintiff that you would reimburse him for the costs of the vapes?
I did tell him that when I sold the vapes, every sale I would give him what I owed him from that. So we had an agreement where while I sold the vapes, I would be, paying him back.
Didn't you say in your answer that you would reimburse him for the cost of the vapes?
As I sold the vapes, yes. That's
Well,
what
you didn't say as you sold them. You said for the cost of the vapes. The impression that I got was that initially it was an investment, but there came a point in time when you guaranteed to the plaintiff that you would repay him for the advanced monies that he laid out to purchase the vapes. Is that true or is that not true?
That's not true, no.
You say, I did tell Sam that I would eventually pay him back for the vape costs.
Yes.
Period.
Yeah, but
There was no further condition that it would be simply for the vapes that you sold.
And there was no time frame either, sir. Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yes, you're
That
correct.
You made that statement to him, that promise to him in effect.
Yeah, I did, yes.
So what happened to the vapes?
Well, they didn't sell. He didn't give me enough time. I mean, when you invest in a business, it does take longer than 8 months.
Well, why don't you feel that you owe him this money?
Because he asked me to return the vapes, and so I did that. After I returned the vapes, I had no way to make the money that I owed him.
How much did you pay per vape in the initial purchase?
$4 and something cents, I believe.
And you got 1,200 vapes.
Yeah. Well, no, it would have been cheaper than that. It would have been $2 and something.
$3.15.
Yeah.
So you claim you never received the vapes.
No, Your Honor, I did not receive the vapes.
Well, how did you return the vapes to the plaintiff?
So the first time he called me, he said if I'll come back to work for him, I can give him back the vapes, and then I'll be free and clear. I told him I don't want to work for him anymore. A couple more weeks went by. He told me, please keep trying to sell them. I told him I did have some deals in process. It was just taking a while, to convince people that zero nicotine vapes were a good idea. But then a couple weeks later, he called me again asking for the vapes back. So I returned them to the front door of his office, just like a package. I'd set them there. Tons of people were there.
Did you let him know in advance that you were returning them?
No, he asked me to do it, and I just went and returned them. I was very upset.
There's a text here which indicates that he was unaware when and how you were going to return the vapes to him.
I never texted him.
But didn't you think it would be reasonable to let him know, hey, I'm dropping off the vapes today?
I was very upset, Your Honor. He was taking away something that I had spent many hours on, a lot of my time, money, and effort. I was very passionate about the business, and within, a certain amount of months, he expected, I guess, for the whole thing to return, all the investment to him.
Because he wasn't getting his return as quickly as he thought.
Yeah, and we never agreed to a time frame. He just decided to cut me off from it, so.
So I heard you saying that you were tired of working for the plaintiff.
Yeah, under his company.
Under what company?
I did vacuum door-to-door sales.
Okay.
That's how I knew both of them was doing that.
Okay. How much time did you have to sell the vapes?
I believe it was like 8 months.
Because you said he didn't give you enough time.
No, he did not give me enough
8 months
time at
is
all.
not enough.
So if I was paying him back based on the amount of sales I was getting and the amount of products I was selling, it would take longer than that usually, yeah. Especially just from scratch.
How many vapes were purchased?
1,200.
1,200.
I believe,
you sold
yeah.
how many of them?
I believe it was around 190 some.
What happened with the relationship with Mr. Randall?
So I would ask a lot of him, that he couldn't do, to the point where I was doing everything. I was staying up all night talking to our manufacturer in China. I was trying to find shops that would buy the product, pretty much every single thing. He was going through a lot at the time, so I do, feel for his situation. His grandfather was sick. He was having, I think, relationship problems. So a lot of that was his excuse as to why he wasn't able to help me. I went to Sam and told him, I can't do this anymore. If I'm going to keep trying to sell these vapes, I got to cut Wes out. And so we agreed that, that's what we would do for me to keep selling the vape.